welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories and our second game of this year's playoffs as we are putting the number 2 seed Blue Valley High Tigers versus the number 3 seed Shawnee Mission East Lancers. Let's go ahead and meet our contestants first from Blue Valley.
Hi, I'm Arjun. I'm a junior and my favorite cereal is Cookie Crisp.
Hi, I'm Luke. I'm also a junior and my favorite cereal is Fruit Loops.
Hi, I'm Aditya. I'm a senior and my favorite cereal is Vegetarian Cocoa Puffs.
Hi, I'm Sid Hegday. I'm a freshman and my favorite cereal is Honey Nut Cheerios.
And hi, I'm Luke Chen and I'm a senior and my favorite cereal is Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds.
And our contestants from Shawnee Mission East.
Hi, I'm Carl and I'm a senior.
I'm Henry and I'm a junior.
I'm Kevin and I'm a senior.
I'm Brian and I'm a senior.
I'm Michelle and I'm a senior too.
And to answer the question about the cereal, I would have to say, big fan of peanut butter Captain Crunch. Yeah, never gets soggy in milk. It's wonderful, wonderful. You can walk the dog, read the newspaper, come back, it's still crispy. It's fantastic. All right, as we start our first round here on categories, the team will be asked a question. If they respond correctly, they earn a point. If they respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that point. We did a coin toss before we started taping. It was won by the Lancers from Shawnee Mission East. So East, here is the first category. It is fine arts sculpture. Modeling is the additive process of sculpting. What is the reductive process called? Brian?
Chiseling.
Can I accept chiseling? Tigers, you have a chance to steal this fine arts sculpture category. Modeling is the additive process of sculpting. What is the reductive process called? Luke?
Carving.
It is carving.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Okay.
U.S. geography is the next category, and it belongs to you, Tigers. This village was named for the furnace for heating metal on a nearby creek that gained its fame during the winter of 1777. Name it. Ditya.
Valley Forge.
It is Valley Forge. Lancers, back to you with the U.S. government, specifically courts. District courts are the state trial courts. What is the name for the federal trial courts? Brian?
Appellate courts.
They are not appellate courts. Tigers, chance to steal this U.S. government courts question. District courts are the state trial courts. What's the name for the federal trial courts? Arjun?
Court of Appeals.
They're not Court of Appeals. They're actually called Superior Courts. Superior Courts. Blue Valley, back to you with medicine. What 2 words are used by EMTs and physicians for the 4 observable phenomenon of blood pressure, pulse, respiration rate, and temperature? Luke O.
Vital signs.
Vital signs. Lancers, back to you with literature. Heidi, by Joanna Spirey, is about an orphan girl who grows to live with her grandfather on a mountain in what country? Michelle.
Switzerland?
It is Switzerland. Back to you, Tigers, with a math question. What is the sum of the interior angles of a regular hexagon? Luke.
720 degrees.
720 degrees. Outstanding. East, general knowledge. A muscle is either relaxed or... Michelle?
Flexed.
I cannot accept flexed. Blue Valley, chance to steal this general knowledge question. A muscle is either relaxed or... Luco?
Contracted.
Contracted is what we were looking for. Tigers, back to you with vocabulary. All of the beaver's hairs considered together are called its pelt. What is the collective term for all of a bird's feathers? Luco?
It's plume.
It is plume. Plume or plumage. Yeah, either one. Shawnee Mission East, history is your category. He was known to drink 4 quarts of whiskey during a 24-hour period, usually starting with a pint before breakfast. Identify this frontier gunfighter and dentist. Brian?
Davy Crockett.
It is not Davy Crockett. Tigers, chance to steal this history question. He was known to drink 4 quarts of whiskey during a 24-hour period, usually starting with a pint before breakfast. Identified this frontier gunfighter and dentist. Aditya.
Wild Bill Hickok.
It is not Wild Bill Hickok. It's Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday. He was a doctor of dentistry. Blue Valley, you do get the next question. It is sports in regards to fitness. What sit-up exercise has the same name as a chocolate bar? Arjun?
Crunch.
A crunch. Lancers, back to you. Current events is the category. What text messaging application was purchased by Facebook? Brian?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Very good. Blue Valley, back to you with fine arts theater. In Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, Willie Loman had 2 sons. Name them. Luke?
Bill and Biff.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
That's not right.
Lancers, chance to steal this fine arts theater question. In Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, Willie Loman had 2 sons. Name them. Brian?
John and Thomas.
It's not John and Thomas. It is Biff, but the other one was Happy. Biff and Happy. Lancers, you do get the next question. It is classical music. How many Brandenburg concertos did Bach write? Brian?
4.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Tigers, chance to steal this classical music category. How many Brandenburg concertos did Bach write? Luco?
9.
It is not 9, it is 6. It is 6. Tigers, you do get the next question. It is world geography. Fairly long question, so please pay attention. Algeria, Libya, Morocco, and Tunisia are all countries along the Mediterranean north coast of North Africa. Until the 19th century, these states, notorious for their pirates, were known by what collective name? Luke?
Barbary?
Barbary. Very good. Lancers, U.S. geography, specifically landmarks. From 1879 to 1883, it was a warehouse, then a dry goods store. In 1905, it was purchased and donated to the Daughters of Texas. Name this historic structure. Brian?
The Alamo.
It is the Alamo. Blue Valley, space is your category. A satellite which maintains a speed precisely the same as the Earth's rotation is said to be in stationary orbit. What other term describes this type of orbit? Luke?
Geostationary?
I cannot accept
No?
geostationary.
No,
Lancers, you have a chance to steal the space category. A satellite which maintains a speed precisely the same as that of the Earth's rotation is said to be in stationary orbit. What other term describes this type of orbit? Carl?
Geosynchronous.
Geosynchronous is what we're looking for. Lancers, back to you with football, sports football question. If the line of scrimmage is the 17-yard line, how far would the football have to travel for a field goal in the NFL? Henry?
34 yards.
It is 34 yards. Nice job. Tigers, back to you with government. What was the name given to the mayor of a town in the Netherlands, Austria, or Germany? Arjun?
Electorate.
It is not electorate. Lancers, chance to steal this government question. What's the name given to the mayor of a town in the Netherlands, Austria, or Germany? He's known as the Burgomeister. Burgomeister. Lancers, you do get the next question. It is literature. What prolific writer of mysteries penned Evil Under the Sun? Brian?
John Grisham.
It is not John Grisham. Tigers, chance to steal this literature question. What prolific writer of mysteries penned Evil Under the Sun? Luke?
Agatha Christie.
It is Agatha Christie. Back to you, Tigers, with general knowledge. What type of mail surpassed U.S. first-class postal service in volume for the first time in 1996? Luco?
Airmail.
And it's not airmail. East, chance to steal this general knowledge question. What type of mail surpassed U.S. first-class postal service in volume for the first time in 1996? Brian?
Email.
It is email. Lancers, back to you with language. Pilots from many countries fly to nations where the native language is not understood. What language has been adopted by all international airport controllers to manage international flights? Brian.
English.
It is English. Back to you, Blue Valley. European history. In May of 1940, the Allies evacuated about 300,000 troops from the seaport of Dunkirk. In what country is Dunkirk? Aditya?
France.
It is France. Lancers, presidential history for you. He was born in a log cabin and arose to the presidency, but in 1881, he became the second president to be assassinated. Name him. Brian.
McKinley.
It is not McKinley. Tigers, chance to steal this presidential history question. He was born in a log cabin and arose to the presidency, but in 1881, he became the second president to be assassinated. Luco?
Garfield.
It is Garfield. Mathematics for you Tigers. If you spend $1.25 out of a $10 roll of quarters, how many quarters do you have left? Luco?
35.
35. Lancers, U.S. government is your category. What governmental term is used to describe the approval process by which the U.S. Senate approves individuals to serve in the president's cabinet? Brian?
The confirmation process.
Confirmation, very good. Back to you, Tigers, with music. In which German city is Wagner's opera Die Meistersinger set? Die Meistersinger. Luke?
Nuremberg.
Nuremberg, very good. Lancers, back to you with medicine, science and medicine. What machine is used to treat people with failed kidneys? Kevin?
Dialysis machine.
Dialysis machine. Back to you, Tigers, with U.S. geography, specifically flags. What city displays a monument honoring militiamen of the War of 1812 on its official flag? Sid?
New Orleans.
It is not New Orleans. Lancers, chance to steal this U.S. geography flags question. What city displays a monument honoring militiamen of the War of 1812 on its official flag? Brian.
Baltimore.
It is Baltimore. With that correct response, you've narrowed the gap a bit. Blue Valley still has a lead of 13 to Shawnee Mission East 10. As we approach halftime, we are going to award our regular season awards. As you can see on the display, Blue Valley did take second place with a 3-1 record, and Shawnee Mission East also with a 3-1 record took third place. But by virtue of the correct answers, with Shawnee Mission East at 40% and Blue Valley at 48%, they have grabbed the second place regular season. So I have for everybody on your team there, Carl.
Thank you.
And Henry. Okay. Kevin.
Thank you, sir.
And Michelle.
Thank you.
And Carl, I'm going to trust you to these other medals for other competitors that aren't here today.
Good.
And I also have this, there it is, third place regular season trophy for you that you can take in and display proudly in Mr. McKinney's office. That'd be fantastic right there. And for our regular season second place finishers of Blue Valley with a 3-1 record and 48% correct, I have these medals for you, Luke.
Thank you.
And Sid.
Thanks.
Aditya.
Thanks.
And Luke.
Thank you.
And Arjun. Thank you. And then Luke, I'm gonna entrust these for you to give to the other people on your team. And I also have this second place regular season trophy. Display it proudly in the halls, and you guys may even be able to carry that around and have a conga line or something like that with that. But great job to both teams for an excellent, excellent regular season. As you can see on our tournament bracket that we have displayed, the winner of this contest will go on to take on our regular season champion and winner of our first game, Blue Valley West. And our loser of this game will go on to take on Shawnee Mission South in our consolation game. All right, as we head into our second round, it is our lightning round, but we have been starting our lightning round with our look and listen question. Our look and listen question is displayed here on a monitor for our contestants here in the studio. We'll have it on the screen for those of you playing at home in the home game. And also the look and listen question is worth 2 points. The first team to ring in will get the first shot. All right, here we go. Who ignited this flame as part of the memorial service? Aditya.
Jacqueline Kennedy.
Jacqueline Kennedy is correct, and 2 points have been awarded to Blue Valley. As we continue here in the lightning round, questions will be placed on the floor for either team to answer. If the team responds correctly, they do earn a point for their team. If they respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal. So here we go. Both teams, hands-on buzzers. And the first category is world geography. What nation of the Middle East is officially a Hashemite kingdom? Brian?
Jordan.
It is Jordan. Entertainment, TV for both teams. After working together on Saving Private Ryan, name the two men who produced Band of Brothers, a 10-hour World War II miniseries on HBO. Aditya?
Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. East, chance to steal this entertainment TV question. After working together on Saving Private Ryan, name the two men who produced Band of Brothers, a 10-hour World War II miniseries on HBO. Brian.
Spielberg and Clooney.
It is not Spielberg and Clooney. It is Spielberg, but Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was the other. Photography for both teams. The greatest distance the plate of a camera can be moved without spoiling the definition. The definition of the image is called what? Kevin?
Focal length.
Cannot accept that, sorry. Tigers, chance to steal this photography question. The greatest distance the plate of a camera can be moved without spoiling the definition of the image is called what? Arjun?
The zoom range.
It is not the zoom range. It's depth of field. Depth of field. Science, botany for both teams. Name the 4 basic parts of a flower. Luco.
The pistil, the stamen, the anther, and the sepal.
I cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this science, botany question. Name the 4 basic parts of a flower. Time on that. Pistil, stamen, petals, and sepals is what we're looking for. Both teams, literature is the category. Nathaniel Hawthorne's masterpiece centers around an adulterist. Name the title. Brian.
The Scarlet Letter.
The Scarlet Letter. Geography for both teams. Paranas, Mato Grosso, and the Amazonas are all states in what South American country? Brian.
Brazil.
It is Brazil. General knowledge for both teams. 2 prestigious universities, one in Illinois and the other in New York, were homes to Dr. Enrico Fermi and Edward Teller for research on the atomic bomb. Name. Arjun?
Columbia University and University of Chicago.
Those are the 2. Both teams, literature magazines to be specific. What magazine introduced the regular features conservation, shooting, fishing, and boating? Brian.
Field and Stream.
Field and Stream. Language for both teams. Which word derived from gentry designates the buying and renovating of houses and stores? Brian?
Gentrification.
Gentrification. In rundown neighborhoods to raise property values. U.S. history for both teams. What words did the Continental Congress replace with United States on September 9th, 1776? Lugo?
These United States.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Lancers, chance to steal this U.S. history question. What words did the Continental Congress replace with United States on September 9th, 1776? Brian.
Colonies.
Colonies is what we're looking for. And with that correct answer, you have tied up the score at 16 apiece. World history for both teams, it is multiple choice. In the early years of World War II, Russia attempted to prevent an attack from Germany by declaring itself neutral, entering an alliance with the Luke.
B, entering an alliance with Russia.
With
the
I
German.
cannot accept that. Lancers, you have a chance to steal this U.S. history question. In the early years of World War II, Russia attempted to prevent an attack from Germany by A, declaring itself neutral, B, entering an alliance with the U.S., C, signing a non-aggression pact with Hitler, D, launching a particularly strong counteroffensive, or E, strengthening its border. No. Henry.
C.
C, non-aggression pact. Current events for both teams. President Nicolas Maduro said that major street protests in his country, which have resulted, Michelle?
Venezuela.
It is Venezuela. Economics terminology for both teams. The amount of income that people have left after taxes is known as what? Brian?
Disposable income.
It is disposable income. Yep. Theater for both teams. This Tennessee Williams cotton plantation patriarch. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that question. It's a bad question. All right, let's start over. U.S. geography. U.S. geography for both teams. Name the large city from this location in southwestern Ohio on the Ohio River. Aditya.
Cincinnati.
It is Cincinnati. History, alliances. What European country has the longest continuous alliance with the United States? Luco?
Great Britain.
It is not Great Britain. Lancers, chance to steal this history alliances category. What European country has the longest? Henry?
France.
It is not France. It's the Netherlands, believe it or not. Science, biology for both teams. Which substance present in cellular nucleic acid always pairs up with thymine? Sid?
Adenine.
Adenine. Music composers is the category. Name the American composer of the following popular song. Like a Rolling Stone. That's Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. Geography for both teams. It lies between Alberta and Manitoba, and it's the most farmland of any of the Canadian provinces. What is the name? Aditya?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. U.S. history, presidents. He's the only president who owned a pilot's license. Name him. It was Eisenhower. Eisenhower. We do have a tie score, by the way, at 19 apiece. General knowledge for both teams. According to popular nursery rhyme, 3 men with 3 separate occupations bathe together in a tub. Give me their 3 occupations. It was the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. Shakespeare is the next category. In which Shakespearean play is the character of Gloucester blinded? Luke.
King Lear.
King Lear. History, Mexico is the category. In 1864, who became Emperor of Mexico? Michelle.
Maximilian.
Maximilian, very good. Languages for both teams. This adjective means without funds or means of subsistence. Give me this 9-letter word starting with D. Brian?
Destitute.
It is destitute. Sports history for both teams. What was used, or what was first used by John L. Sullivan and James J. Colbert in 1892? Luco?
Baseball glove.
It is not baseball glove. Lancers, chance to steal the sports history question. What equipment was first used by John L. Sullivan and James J. Corbett in 1892? Henry?
A batting helmet.
It is not a batting helmet. Boxing gloves. Boxing gloves. European history for both teams. What group split into Provisional Wing in Belfast and an official? Sid?
The IRA.
The IRA, very good. Once again, we're tied up at 21 apiece. U.S. history, military planes to be specific. What vintage U.S. warplane is known as Buff, or Big Ugly Fat Fellow? Aditya?
B-52.
It is the B-52. Nice job. I was glad no one said Mr. Bartel. That would have been a little. Fine arts, painters for both teams. Where in France did Vincent van Gogh live during his most productive painting period? Arjun?
Paris.
It is not Paris. Lancers, chance to steal this fine arts painters question. Where in France did Vincent van Gogh live during his most productive painting period? Brian?
Marseille.
It is not. It is actually Arles. Arles. English history for both teams. Historically, this London hospital served as the first English lunatic asylum. Michelle?
Bedlam.
Pardon?
Bedlam.
Bedlam. Very good. Geography for both teams. Brasilia is the capital of Brazil. What's the capital of Chile? Sid?
Santiago.
Santiago. U.S. government for both teams. Of John Marshall, Oliver Wendell Holmes, Earl Warren, John Sirica. Which man was not a U.S. Supreme Court justice? Brian? Sirica. Science, anatomy. What is the name of the thick wall dividing the left and right sides of the human heart? Is it the aorta, capillary, septum, atrium, or venule? Brian?
Venule.
It is not venule. Tigers, chance to steal this anatomy question. What is the name of the thick wall dividing the left and right sides of the human heart? Aorta, capillary, septum, atrium, or venule? Aditya?
C. Septum.
It is septum. And with that correct response at the siren, does give you a 1-point victory. Blue Valley with a score of 24, Shawnee Mission East 23. A well-played game by both. A well-played game by both teams. Outstanding. Probably one of the best games I've ever been involved with. Blue Valley does advance to the championship round versus Blue Valley West, and Shawnee Mission East will play in the consolation game against Shawnee Mission South. Please join us next time as we continue to bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students all throughout Johnson County.